All right, cool. Thank you for coming to my first report. Um, Anybody who's watching this, you probably know me personally. If you don't, just want to let you know that this is something I really care about, and just gonna try to give you a perspective that you might not get from just people who are in the same game. But so the difference I'm going to bring in is I'm going to look at the transiting planets before the exact dates. And I know every astrologer does that, but, you know, just kind of gathered the information in a way that made sense to me. So, yeah, I'm just going to do a week-long report. We're going to go from this morning to... I think I have the 29th. And, yeah. Cool. So, this morning at 2 a.m., we had Sun square Saturn here. So, this was stress from our responsibilities and finding it hard to reach our goals and being pressed by authority, really challenging our patience and work ethic, doing something we were avoiding. Focusing on time limits, duties, and pressure again. Oh, later on, earlier today, we had Moon sextile Venus. The moon's applying to Mercury and applying to a sextile with Venus, so it's probably a good time with your family, friends, if you were awake. I want to mention that this is all in Nashville time. That's, I think, -5 GMT. Yeah, I can't tell you. Yeah, -5 or 6 GMT, so Central Time. Central Time, not Eastern Time. Okay. So around 8 this morning, we had an activation of Moon sextile Mars on the other side, up here. So all day we had this desire to work in a gusto, enthusiastically, having a good time with family and friends, just relaxing and looking for success in our relationships. We got a lot done, probably on multiple different fronts all day after we experienced that activation. So the way I look at the exact activations personally is that when they're building up to it, we still feel the influence, but there's an exact point where the aspect is most strong, and that's like how a wave reaches like the highest point, and then it's still a really powerful wave, but it hasn't gathered any more energy to it. It's just gonna run its course. So even though these activated at 8:30 a.m. today, they were probably noticeable, but they were noticeable all day. So around 3 o'clock today, 3 p.m., we had the moon passed by Mercury, so that was exact here. Yeah, so I have here that our feelings and our thinking they were aligned with our initiation of new projects, getting things done, a good day to say what we mean to say, because our mood and our emotions are really in line with what we have to say here. And all day I was feeling good about preparing this report, and that was a really good aspect for just getting it done and like just taking the action there with this activity in Aries there. Okay, what do I have next? Yeah, then the next thing, it's the reason I decided to do this today instead of doing this report tomorrow, is I really like this aspect with the sun and the nodes. So the sun making an exact sextile to the north node, and trine to the south node. Just looks like a great time, for making a debut of your character in something that you plan to be steady at and work on. And for me, that's making these astrology videos. I'm going to do this every week now. So, what I write out. Yeah, how is your personal character in alignment with your need for stability and comfort? How is it working with the need for stability and comfort? And how is that flowing with our need for, doing the long-term thing, doing our career, our finances? How are those working together with our personality? We have a good moment to explore that in a new way here. I forgot to write down what time. Let's see here. What time was that? Yeah, around noon today we had probably an opportunity to get recharged by inspirational environment, prayer, music, just something inspirational. There was an opportunity to just dive into that and get inspired and energized by that. Cool. So a couple other things. So we're starting to feel the influence. Starting to feel the influence of a couple things right here that aren't going to happen for a while, but they're going to show up on the 25th. So that, I'll probably notice that today, and it's only going to just get more intense until it builds up to the peak there on the 25th. And I'll talk about that more when I get to it, but yeah, just that we're going to be going into a deeper thinking, intense situations with others. Extreme ideas coming into conflict. Just coming to a crisis around the dark nature of humanity and the darkness in the world. We're seeking to uncover the secrets around the dark nature of people, and that's going to be most intense on the 25th. But also with that, there's high hopes for the future, especially around our career, finances, and our long-term success. Yeah, so that's starting, and that's going to continue, and I'll talk more about that when we get to that one. Okay. So if you hear that music in the background, they're watching some kind of spooky movie. It's a little intense there. Hope you can hear me all right. I have a tendency to whisper a lot. All right, so looks like around 4:30, the moon is gonna square all this up here. So that's Pluto. Jupiter, Pluto, over the course of about 3 hours. So that's really about just an extreme mood, extreme irritability. Not the worst extreme. Like there's gonna be more extreme mood swings later, but there's a tendency for that right now. And yeah, our emotions are, we have a need for action. We're challenged by the way we want to expand in our finances and our career, for sure. And we definitely might go off the deep end, so like be careful what you do all day, because this is going to be an all day kind of feel. It's going to start in the morning, but it's going to go all the way until we find some better emotional balance with that. You see that void of course moon thing, the way the moon's red there, it's just going to kind of go off the rails with our need to feel expansion in our emotions, feel an expansion around our career. So watch out for that one. All right. So Moon Taurus, that happens at around 2:30. We'll be looking for a constant sort of comfort, serenity. We're looking for the substantial and the material, the results. We're looking for like satisfaction around the results of all that, all that career, business, government change, death, destruction kind of thing out in the world. We're looking for security with that. We're looking for serenity and like long term, like good long term stability in our work there. But we're going to be challenged by that, because like the thing that's coming up is a big disturbance and all of that. Like once these planets really all hit together, that's going to be like a big unexpected change. And so like the kind of Taurus new moon that we're going into later on today, that'll be at 9:30. That'll be, not an ordinary kind of Taurus new moon. It's not going to be entirely just about the material. It's going to be about, really unusual material circumstances, doing things in a material way, but it's very unusual. It's very shocking, innovative, but we'll get to that, all right? So there's something else. So around 6 o'clock, we have Moon square Saturn. So the Moon squaring Saturn, Aquarius there. So we're feeling, we're feeling extra drive to get some work done, even though we want to just like be in the moment and enjoy it. We gotta get some last minute things done that didn't get done yet. But yeah, have you rely on yourself and sober your emotions for this new moon shift. Just like be aware and get ready for that right there. But with the moon, so the moon has reached this sextile with the north node, trine with the south node. So we're feeling good about this. We're feeling aligned with our purposes in finding financial security and general security, feeling comfort, feeling safe in our homes here. And we're feeling optimistic about our finances here. There's something good there that we feel good about around 7:30 there. Yep. So after that, the new moon. I think I have some notes for the new moon here, especially. Alright, so it looks like I thought that there's going to be a big shakeup. Technology is introduced around our material life. That's with the Uranus conjunction there, too. So a new moon conjoining Uranus. So, like, big new technologies affecting the substantive material world. A whole new cycle, fateful cycle around high-tech involvements, improvements, and how we find value in the substance of this world. And I bet, so this right here, like, this is the garbage that we're taking out. Like, this garbage is getting taken out around the government, finances, uh, whew, the world, the virus. And I don't just mean the body bags, that's, no, but like just the way the system is being handled, like, that all has to go out for something totally new here. We're going to be dealing with that in a different way. Um, yeah, we're looking for something that we can find steady value in that. Steady value, even though it's something unusual. It's something high tech. It's something um, shocking, even. So it's a big activation for Uranus too. So that's heavily involved. This high tech thing is heavily involved with this whole next month long cycle back around till we have the next new moon. Um, that's what I'm looking for. Um, and if you have any personal planets around in these first few degrees of the fixed signs, there's probably a pretty big challenge in your life going on. Something totally new. This totally new thing is going to really challenge you if you've got those planets there. You see that? Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Big challenge, energy. Okay, I think that's the whole day for that one. Oh no. Oh, I missed this one too. So around noon, there's going to be a big, 12:21 here. You got to adjust that for wherever you're at. Um, we're into the inspirational ideas, where we're into working with our imagination, taking a break from the mundane. So, like, there's an opportunity to find some kind of break from our mundane circumstances there with this aspect, this semi-sextile. And we might really need it because it's going to get really extreme with our the way our emotions are expanding until around 2:30. So you might just want to take a spiritual kind of break for that bit. Okay. So there's the first 2 days. Now let's look at Thursday. Not very many aspects on Thursday, but we're going to start to feel the influence of a couple things. So I'm going to talk about the exact things that are happening, and then these new influences that are going to be going on to the end of this week and to the end of next week. So the first thing I've got, excuse me, Moon conjoin Uranus here. And that's at 3:30. Yep. So with that, we got a strong desire for the unexpected, unusual. It's going to be going on all day. That's a big one. Being emotionally in sync with our intuition, especially if you're already a psychic, it's going to be pretty intense. That activation, we're really going to be psychically in tune with everything that went down for the new moon. So be ready for that. That's in the morning. If you're awake for that, that might be interesting. You might have weird sleep if you're asleep during that time. Or have appetite problems that are weird. Okay, so the only other aspect that's actually going exact today is this one. Moon semi-sextile Venus. So Yeah, so our hidden sentimental side is gonna take a, it's gonna kind of come out in a reserved kind of in the background way. We're gonna be emotionally in tune with where we're finding value, where we have been finding value in this Gemini area since Venus went into here. So wherever Gemini is in your chart, that's, you already know about that. Wherever you've been finding, whatever Gemini rules with you, and generally that's like, short distance travels, communications. I think it's really on the Skype calls too. I think that's really the Zoom calls. That really is important there. So yeah, it's just like your hidden sensitivity kind of coming out, however you want to express that, work with that. Yeah, you might be more inclined to be nurturing and close to your family, I have here. Okay. Alright, so I told you there's going to be a couple things. So we're starting to feel something that's going to hit on the 28th today. And that is Mercury square Saturn. So, yeah, just feeling inclined to be on your own and do mental kind of work. Just going to grow. That feeling is going to start coming in and grow. Till then, just avoid communication because it's going to cause misunderstanding. Avoid negotiating, making deals. Saying the wrong thing by accident is going to be really easy. And might have a tendency to see the worst side of everything. So, yeah, just watch out for that starting this day, Thursday, I think. Okay, so that's that day. Hope this is interesting for you. I'm sure it is if you're already into this kind of thing, like me. Alright, so, yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's the other one. We can't forget about that. So that's going to go, we're going to start feeling this one, and it's going to go on till the end of next week, from the 21st. The end of next week, 5th, or the 8th of May. What's that one about? Just a stronger desire to move up in life and succeed. And we're more inclined to take risks. So however, so look out for that one. So like the next 2 weeks, like week and a half from this day, we're going to be on that. We're going to be looking for that in our lives. Cool. So, alright, moving on to the 24th here. Okay. So the next one I've got here, this Moon square Mars, and that's 30 minutes after midnight. So, yep, we got this strong aspect there. So we want to keep it relaxed. We want to keep it relaxed and simple. So Moon's in Taurus. Moon's happy in Taurus. It's exalted there. Clear mind, serenity. That's what we're after. But we're going to be challenged around needing to act in several different capacities or in different places. So balancing that out is going to be kind of hard, probably all day. Cool. So that's going to be going down, and then so after later that day, I think that's a 6:38. Is that right? The exact time for Moon sextile Neptune. Let's see. Sextile Neptune. Yeah, right there. See that? See that there? So Moon sextile Neptune right there. We emotionally in touch with our dreams and imagination around this time. sensitive to emotions in general, chance for deeper connections, and for doing good creative work. So look out for that. Yes, some support from Neptune and Pisces as we just like do our thing, enjoy ourselves in the moment, not have to be bothered to do all this stuff, but just being more creative and imaginative in general. Alright, so later on, we've got Moon semisextile Mercury, and that's at 2:30. Yeah. Yep, that one. Yeah, just another great time for friends and family. Meaningful communications. If you got it, that's just a great time to get with your friends and family and talk out the things that should be talked about, like the meaningful things, like especially because the moon is picking up on this faith, higher spirituality. Like, good time to sit down with your family and talk and pray, if that's what you're into, if you want to do that. Or talk about higher spiritual thoughts with your friends. You'd probably find a lot of support for that. And yeah, I think, where's that? Is that coming up? Yeah, that's the next thing. So like that's all going to be going on, and we're going to be connected to emotionally. Our feelings are going to be connected to this, Pluto, Jupiter, like what they're doing up there. That's like what we'll be doing the rest of the day. So like we'll be emotionally connected to this in a way that is helpful rather than stressful. Just flowing, nothing to do about it. It's just going to be flowing well. Yeah, where is that? 1627. It's the exact time for that one. Yeah. Moon trine Pluto. Our feelings and subtle intuition around our finances, business, career, the government, the virus, the societal collapse, like all this stuff. They're supercharged, so we're really picking up on that emotionally, all those things in a way that's going to be really in our face. Yeah, strong emotional encounters that are going to have the character of destiny imprinted on them. Profound interactions, so look out for that. It's going to be cool. Hopefully, hope it's good for you too. Alright, so then obviously later in the day, the moon's going to pick up on that exact trine to Jupiter as well. So that's going to be at 1942. So, yeah. And then it's going to go void of course, meaning it's not going to have another aspect. You see that? No more aspects until it goes into the next sign. So this can kind of mean this is like the energy that we have left emotionally. And this is kind of the track we're emotionally geared on until we get to the next day. And it was kind of like that with the square the previous day with Jupiter, but it's going to work a lot better, whenever that was. It's going to work a lot better this time. Yeah, the powerful feelings of before today, so like the feeling of a connection to power sense, it's going to give away more to good-natured, generous moods, genuineness, openness, honesty, our individual long-term projects are going to enjoy, just a simple boost. Like they're going to feel more aligned. We're going to feel more aligned with our long-term projects here. I have powerful interactions with females. I can't tell you why that is. See if that's true for you. I don't know. Good feelings, happiness, new seeds of wealth, budding, influential friendships for your career. So just be on the lookout for that, even though it's not the best time, because, of course, the moon's going to be void of course after that. So, Not the best. Yeah. So we still got that Mercury square Pluto is coming up. So with that square with um, Saturn as well, we're still feeling very ambitious. We're geared up. We're looking to make advances in our career. We want that right now. We're hungry for that. Um, yeah. So we'll move on to April 25. I know this video is gonna be really long, but I'm gonna timestamp it so you can use it however you want. Um, if I sound really bored right now, it's because I'm tired. Planting potatoes all day and doing this, so I'm like, my body's tired, my brain's tired, but I really was just geared up to get this done. So, hope you'll bear with me. Alright, so 25th. 25th, I think that's, what day is that? Is that Friday? Have to look. No, Saturday. So Saturday, yesterday was Friday. So we got, what happened? Oh, the moon is in Gemini. Yeah, that's a big change of energy. We're with the we got, as soon as it does that, first thing I want to say is that it goes into a semi-sextile with the north node, and it inconjuncts the south node while this thing with Saturn is going on here too. So that's a really fateful. It's gonna feel really fateful, I bet. Yeah, we're emotionally aligned with this area that we've been finding value in. Like, all of this is really, we're emotionally in tune with it. This thing we've been finding value in since Venus went into Gemini. And let me just roll this back real quick so you can see how long that was, and you can kind of look at your life and see when did that start with you. Yeah, so like the beginning of April, you see Venus went into Gemini. So whatever Gemini rules in your personal chart, there's going to be a better alignment with that to look forward to today. And it's connected to fate. It's connected to our fateful need for security and our fateful need for financial peace. So just, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Even despite the lockdown, we're still finding a way to find the value and do work in a multifaceted way. So like we're working really well with the lockdown thing today, looks like. All right, so the thing after that, right after that, so that happened at 2:19. Yeah, bam, there it is. Yep. And then just 15 minutes later, the Mercury does that square with Pluto I was talking about. So now it's exact, the deep thinking, the intense situations with others, the extreme ideas, extreme communicating that could bring in conflict. Yeah, that crisis around the dark nature of humanity has reached a peak, and our desire to uncover the secret mysteries is at a peak too. So that's the peak of the wave. It's gonna still be a positive, powerful presence for a couple days after that, but that's really where it peaks at. All right. So yeah, the next one. That's Moon trine Saturn at 5:47. Yeah, 5:47 goes exact. Yeah, so we're in a good mood to have patience and emotional strength around our multifaceted diligence. That's what I got there. And this is what I'm calling multifaceted diligence. Mars and Aquarius, like the energy is able to come out on every, it pops out here, pops out there. We do this thing, we do that thing. We're emotionally on board with that now, and that really helps us out. Or am I messing this up? Yeah. Well, just like we're doing well with the lockdown is what I meant to say. But yeah, patience, emotional strength around our, yeah. Really, I wrote down about this, but that's not what it's about. It's about the lockdown. It's about the way that everybody's separated. There's restriction in our society. We're doing well with that right now. That's okay. Also, I have that if we're being drawn to the past, we're looking at memories, keepsakes, things like that are probably coming out that are important to you. This would be a good time to really go there, get into that. Find common sense and dwell with that. That's what I got. All right. So here's the next thing. So another big thing that's happening today is Pluto retrograde. So that's like a big change of energy, because that's going to be what Pluto's going to be up to pretty much all year. So you see that Pluto shadow is going to go Pluto retrograde up there. Yeah. So now it's finally moving backward. It's moving out of its stopped phase and it's going to move backwards. And what I think this is about is fear of death, pretty much. Like, I got to agree with that. Where are my notes? Because Pluto activated all this stuff with the virus and the extreme measures. All that happened with Saturn. Jupiter, expanding that, restrictions, Saturn, expansion, Jupiter, death, extremes, Pluto. Pluto's going to start moving backwards, and these two planets are going to follow it back into Capricorn, too. So, this is the beginning of those three planets moving backwards. Well, let me tell you what I got for that. All right. Okay, yeah, it's going to be a period that tests our faith. What do you believe in? How do you find some kind of hope that pulls you through, What is that with you? For me, it's Jesus. He's the Lord. So, but what is your faith? What do you believe in? Do you believe in your money? Do you think that your money will save you? So, it's going to test your faith. Whatever you believe in, there's going to be a big test. It's going to encourage us to grow in kindness and generosity. I feel that. Because if you can't, then it's going to be a really painful transit. It gives us an awareness around extreme death, change in the government, finances, established systems, fear of extreme suffering, death, extreme restrictions, systemic collapse. So those are all things that we were thinking about that are related to that. And it's going to... you have to find the hope or the faith that will allow you to grow despite these circumstances, and find a way to conquer worldly fear, because the world's going to be really afraid, especially later on this week when the moon gets that. So I'm not saying that we're going to feel this very strongly this day, but these are the circumstances themselves that are going to start changing, and they're going to get ready for once the moon, I think on the 29th, opposes all this. So yeah, so circumstances are going to be changing, and by the time the moon gets around there in Cancer, Leo, it's going to be pretty extreme, really extreme with our emotions. All right, so yeah, that's what I got with that one. Let me go back to my Pluto retrograde. Fun, not so fun stuff, but good time to grow if you can take it and find the right attitude. Alright, so around this hour, looks like there's going to be semi-sextile with the moon. So moon semi-sextile the sun and Uranus. So if you're looking at my side box here, you can probably see that pop up as we zoom past that hour. Either way, it's going to do it. We're going to be gravitated toward being well balanced, but these are going to be unusual situations. We're going to be looking for sort of crazy, zany entertainment that breaks the mold. Give us a break from some of this intensity that we've been feeling all day. But it looks like by the end of the day, did not write down what time that is. I guess I'll have to look. So, Mercury square Pluto. So yeah, it's still growing. We'll see how far that grows to, because I didn't write down the time. Growing, growing, growing. Yep, there it is. So around midnight here, the high hopes for the future, especially around our career and finances, our long-term success. We're challenged to develop a wide-angled view and plans without letting the details escape us either. So stay humble and keep your expectations grounded. So like, we're going to be looking big picture, thinking big picture. So, but the challenge will be to just kind of get too big picture, too dreamy, too overconfident. Not really dreamy, but just like too overconfident in our abilities. So just, yeah, look at the details and make sure the details line up for what you can actually do. But absolutely do the big dream thing. That's great. That's what we're going to want to do. All right, so the next day here. Next aspect. Oh, make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh yeah. So on this day, the 25th, we're gonna start picking up on the Mercury Cazimi. Mercury is gonna conjunct the moon on May 4th. So like that, we're gonna start picking up on that one pretty well. Yeah. So. Mercury conjunct the sun, so 10 degrees apart now. We're going to start picking up on that energy more and more strongly as we tick forward. That won't be until the 4th, like I said. But we're just going to be more intellectual. We're going to have more thinking power behind. Well, at first it's gonna just be like with our intent, like with our drive to like dig and like attack problems, but it's gonna move into our thoughts around our money and our finance, like our wealth, food, simple things, like things that are very tangible, immediate value. That's where our thinking is gonna be around the 4th, when it takes an extreme. So be looking out for that one. It's gonna build. All right, so 26. Yeah, so start at 4 a.m. here. You just gotta change these times over to wherever you're at. This is just the time where I live. Okay. Yeah, so, ooh, I should have talked about this earlier. Yeah. Yep. So starting on the 21st today, so we're just starting to pick up on this next aspect that I'm going to talk about, which is this one. Sun conjoined Uranus. So we've already been picking up on this since the first day I did this video, the 21st, 5 degrees away. So when I started this video, like the sun was right here, is what I'm saying. Like 1 degree, now it's at 6. So it's going to get there on the 26th. So that, when it hits, it's going to be about excitement, unexpected changes, rebellion, freedom. breaking the routines and finding something different. And there could be unpleasant circumstances around the lockdown. So that's really the only thing that's really getting us, that's really got us down. So I see that. I'm really thinking this is about the lockdown. Restriction in our society. That's lockdown energies. So that's really the only thing that's really making this unpleasant. And this is kind of unpleasant too, but it's working well with like where we feel like we're going. It's working well with where we've been and like what we need to feel secure in our finances. But yeah, we're gonna be looking for something different. Maybe even moving past the red tape and doing something new that gives you a sense of security. So be on the lookout for that, however that shows up for you all day on this day. I guess that's Sunday, right? I should have made better note of that. Yeah, Sunday. So, yeah. That's that one. And so that activation is a big thing. So that's going to happen first. And then we're going to find an activation at 11:38 here. That's when the moon's going to conjunct Venus. Yeah. Moon's gonna conjunct Venus, and we'll be emotionally attuned to our values. That's really what that's about. Like, our emotions and our values are gonna be like really synced up, or we're gonna be extra sensitive to whatever happens. So that's gonna be both good and bad. Could be good, could be bad, depending on your personal circumstances. Yeah. So I mean that challenge is coming from Pisces and Neptune. Like, there's a good support for that, like what we're doing, like the way we want to do things right now, like just kind of jumping out from everywhere, doing things, doing all kinds of things. But that's a support. But we're gonna be challenged by this Neptune and Pisces. So like, what we're dreaming about, that's gonna be a big challenge. And that's something I should talk about now, actually, because that's going to be a big challenge later, and we're just building up to that. So let me tell you what that's about, because like we're going to be picking up on that energy, not entirely, but somewhat, as we enjoy this. Could be a really sweet moment for you, but so what this is about here, Venus. So Venus is values. That's like where we find our happiness. Neptune is like dreams. It's like imagination, ideals, seeing the world with rose-colored glasses, like that whole thing. So there's a square that's building up, and you'll see that if I look over here. Neptune, Venus, the square is still building to that. And this is what this is about. Intense feelings of insecurity, which do not match the reality. So like seeing yourself in a way that's just inaccurate, like just feeling, it's like looking in the mirror and like seeing that you're not adequate, but you are. It's not real. If your partners are feeling this way, then like they're not wrong. They're not right either. So you got to look out that no one takes advantage of you because of that, and you got to be careful to not let if you have any addictions. Like during this transit, you got to be more careful around like avoiding poisoning yourself. Everyone's going to be more susceptible to poison. And other themes that are coming up around this are resignation, defeat, upsets, disappointments, losses, and idealism in relationships. So we're going to be extra sensitive to all those themes on Sunday. So look out for that. All right. Okay. And here's an aspect I think I should have already talked about, but I don't know if I did. We got... Oh, yeah. I made the note of this in a bad way, but I think I meant to say that we're going to start picking up on the energy of semi-sextile here. It's not showing up because it's going to be by the end of next week, but we're going to be extra driven by this semi-sextile Mars, Pluto. No, these are from today. Am I just looking at the wrong page? I'm stupid. Gosh, yeah, that's why I was on the wrong page, because I was looking at that this square right there, because we're just going to be picking up on that energy. Yeah. Sorry about that. Dumb. Alright, 26. So that was that. So we're going to be extra sensitive about that. So we're going to be emotionally picking up on all that energy. That's what I meant to say about that. So stand up for what you... I'm tired. I'm sorry, I'm going to make mistakes the rest of this video. That's just how it is. Yeah, we're looking for our general peace, our love, our harmony. Yeah. So at the same time, the moon is going to be picking up on this here, and that's what the next thing is going to talk about. So that's... I didn't make note of when that is. That's that day. That's on Sunday. I got here that if you act on your interests, you're going to get what you're going for. Being direct and assertive will go well. Standing up for what you believe in and speaking honestly will go well. Acting on what you know to be true. Act on what you know to be true for the sake of beauty and truth. That's what you want to do at this time to get the good energy and just like avoid the, this like negative dreamland kind of energy. Okay. Yeah, and then the moon picking up on that dreamland energy is going to go exact later. When is that? So, Neptune, moon. Let's see. Yeah, yep, pretty much 7:30 or 5:15, something like that. Yeah, you might be left questioning reality at this point. After all that, you could be deceived. Your confused emotional statement. Your confused emotional state makes you more vulnerable to deceptions. This lowers your drug tolerances. So if you do drugs or drink alcohol, watch out because you'll be more sensitive. So if you need an escape from reality, do it safely. And don't get yourself into negative cycles because this is gonna pass soon. So don't get caught in it. All right. So okay, I got 3 more days for you. How am I doing on time? I have no idea. I don't want to mess with it. Yeah. Okay. So April 27, Monday. I got bad about writing down the time here. Is the first thing, moon in conjunct Pluto retrograde. So that's this right here. When is that? $2:54. So 2:54 this time. It's going to go exact. That one. And that's going to be about, just being confused. Confused emotions around the world situation may or may not be helpful. Just going to kind of let other people be themselves and, like, not get on anybody about anything there. I did write down the times. See, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not paying attention anymore. I'm going to do my best, though. So 619 is the next one. I've got Pluto in conjunct Jupiter. Can you hear the music in the background? It's pretty funny, isn't it? Alright, so with this one, we might blow things out of proportion. We need to trust other people and their judgment and take the objective look at the situation rather than getting really tied up emotionally and blowing up in a bad way. Avoid prejudiced self-justification during this one. A tendency to tell people, or people are telling you things that are just totally out of proportion, and they're not just looking at the simple plain facts. Just tolerate it and take the objective look. Encourage people to take the objective option there. Alright, so we got Moon sextile Mercury and then going void of course, and that void of course means that it's going to make an aspect and then not make any more major aspects until it goes into the next sign. So let's see, 12 o'clock here. I'm going to zoom in. Yeah. So really approaching the north node there. So we're going to be really talkative. So try not to let it blow up. So try to cooperate with other people and share your feelings without it going overboard there. And then when the moon finally does go into Cancer, around 12:30, we're going to want to start to hole up and get emotionally safe. Hie to your cave, get comfortable. And just to get aligned. They're going to be looking to get aligned with, this really powerful emotional need we have for safety. That's going to be the most important thing on our agenda, probably. So that's all going to go on. And then around that same time, Mercury over here, see, it's in the last minutes. It's going to go into Taurus. 53, yeah. Yeah, so, and that's when our thinking's really going to switch over to the mundane. It's really going to switch to the food, immediate pleasures, food, money, sex, real estate, property, things that we can think that have tangible value. Even though it's going to be weird, like there's something unusual about the way we're thinking about tangible assets here. Work with it there. You got to work with that. Yeah, that's what we're going to want to think about. So it'd be good though. All right. So then the moon's going to actually cross over this point. So what happens when we do that? It's 4:15 here. Looks like when that happens. Yep, our emotions we're seeking out the ideal of comfort and safety. In a fateful way. This is like a fated need for emotional safety and comfort that we're looking for. Fateful character somewhere around this need for comfort. Alright. So that's the rest of the day there for that one. Okay. So, let's look at the next day. So I'm going to talk about let's see if I can talk about things that are coming up. So we've been, I'll get to that when we get to that. We'll talk about the exact aspects right now. Alright, so the moon's going to sextile Uranus right here. So, yeah. So our emotions are, we're working with this unexpected stuff. Like we're expecting a stimulating event or an encounter here. Maybe do something new, while it's still yet in your comfort zone. Find inventive ways of doing things. Be open to penetrating insights. That's a good time for that. Okay. All right, let's look at the next one. So this is a pretty great day. I mean, there's some challenging stuff, but it looks like a pretty nice day. Pretty enjoyable. We're gonna be flowing. Let's just see with this next one. So that's gonna happen, and then the moon's gonna move into a sextile with the sun. And generally, that's about inner and outer balance. Harmony with the outside persona, with the way we feel inside. So if you have if you have a partner, you'll be flowing with your partner. It'd be a good time to go dancing if we could go outside. Easygoing, energizing sort of day. That's going to show up there once that happens. Just the balance, the inner outer, is going to be pretty good. Okay, and then later on, so that's going to be one thing, but then going to be challenged around something else here, and that's going to be Mercury square Saturn. So that is this right here. So our desire to talk, we'll be talking about money, finances, and all this, but we're restricted by the fact that we're socially isolated. And that's going to really come to a head. And that's going to make us want to do mental work. We're going to want to work on things on our own, in our minds, writing, communicating. At this time, will be misunderstood probably. So don't do any negotiations. Don't make any deals. You could say the wrong thing by accident. And you could see the wrong side of everything. So don't get caught in depression here. Just flow with it, stay in your comfort zone, get your work done, but don't get caught up in a depression here, because this is going to go by really fast. So just don't let it spiral here, because our thinking is going to get a lot better. So that's going on, but there's a lot of good possibilities with our thinking here. So 1350, yeah, that's going to be Mercury. It's going to exactly sextile the north node and trine the south node. So our thinking is going to be it's going to be supporting our need for security and safety, but it's going to be flowing, and it's going to be flowing with what I wrote there doesn't make any sense, but it's going to be flowing with our need for financial peace and government peace. So hopefully our thinking, our government leaders' thinking and all that is going to be doing well with our the balance between our need for safety. I mean, come on, nobody feels safe right now. Businesses can't get loans, So maybe businesses getting loans will be more smoothed over. But look, this is going to be that's a hard aspect with Saturn too. So the social isolation and the situation with the lockdown is really, hopefully there's enough energy here to balance that out. Okay, and then last thing today with this one, before I talk about the things that are coming into orb, Yeah, this is something that's been building up for a while. We've been talking about, and that's Mars semi-sextile Neptune at 15:48. So Mars semi-sextile Neptune. Yeah. Yeah, our activity's picking up on the dreams that we have for our life. So the things that we're doing, like here, there, everywhere, that's picking up on working with the dreams that we have, like the way we imagine our life should be. So look at where Neptune is in your chart, and see where Mars is in your chart, which houses those are with you, and either way, even if you don't, they're going to be the energy's picking up, like what we're doing with this is picking up on our dreams and our artistic aspirations. So that's really great. That's really a good thing. And that's going to segue. So the rest of the day, all that's going to segue into let's see, Moon. Moon's going to start semi-sextiling Venus. I didn't write down when that was, but let's see when I find it here. Yep. So after that time, there's just going to be a good opportunity for, meaningful relationships, connections, like feeling good. You mean feeling good in your safety zone, and just like having a meaningful time over Zoom, and hopefully not getting too insecure. So hope that's good with you. Cool, we're almost there. I almost did this whole video. Never made a YouTube video before. Okay, so yeah, I wanted to talk about a couple things. So the Venus square Neptune with like all that's just going to get more intense. And the last thing to talk about, Mercury conjoin Uranus. So like that's coming up. And that's not going to, it's not going to happen until, okay, I guess I'll look. It's not going to happen until, when is that? Looks like, yeah. Mercury conjoin Neptune. Oh, I'm way off. Yeah, that's going to be like, let's see, April 30th. So we're 5 degrees away from that. So we're pretty much picking up on that energy today. What is that about? So that's going to be about, let's see. Yeah, stimulating thoughts, sudden insights, breakthroughs, originality in your creative work. If you have interest in strange or mysterious endeavors like astrology or, anything odd, that you do, mysterious sorts of fields of study or work, it's a good time. It's a great boost for that. I might make my next video on that day, or do research or something. Could also be a lot of distractions and malfunctions with your technology, and you could have some fleeting chance encounters start to happen. So just notice that energy building up until next week, or from there, really like 2 days. It's a pretty fast moving transit. Okay. And the last one I got for you, I got one more day to talk about. Yeah. So keep those last things in mind. So like that energy is really going to be coming into a head. But here are the exact things with our moods mostly. Looks like what day is? I can't even tell you what day of the week that is. Is that that? Thursday. Thursday? No, it's Wednesday. So next Wednesday. Phew, yeah, I gotta stop soon. I'm getting tired. Been going too hard, but I really wanted to do this for you. Get it done so you could watch this week. As I did the work. I already did the work for today, so I wanted to include it before the day ended. Okay, let's look here. So that's at 2:12. Moon trine Neptune. So that's good. We're emotionally sensitive. Our imagination and creativity is enhanced. If you do film work, this is a great day to do it. You're gonna be way inspired today to do your film work. And I'm saying that because the moon in Cancer especially rules like films and like your work coming before the public. And Neptune rules dreams and film industry and all that. So that'll be a good day for you. Or make a webm. Make some gifs. make a YouTube blog. Make a film. Do something like that. That's a good day. You could meet someone special on this day too, like someone that's like really like love of your life kind of thing. It could happen. This would be a good day for it if that was going to happen. And just artistic music, that whole thing. That's going to be boosted. All right. So the next one is Moon in conjunct Mars. That's at 2:45. Yeah. Yep, that's that one right there. Emotions are inconsistent. They're out of joint. We're challenged to feel probably all types of ways. Like, not just one way, but like the way that we're doing things all over the place is really... We're going to have to feel a bunch of different ways, and it might be really disjointed. Our feelings and desires span the map. Experiment with your emotions and your artistic goals. So if you started like working on your films and stuff, like keep using that energy up and just experiment emotionally, because the rest of the day is gonna be pretty intense. Because you can see that the moon is picking up on the opposition to Saturn retrograde or Pluto retrograde and Jupiter. So that's what I'm gonna talk about next. 11 o'clock. That's when the exact 11. Yeah. So extreme mood swings, especially around the world events. So like people might be acting out really badly around this today because the lockdown, the pressure, people are thinking about their assets, they're thinking about their money, they're thinking about food, people are thinking about food right now. That's really going to be challenged. People are going to be emotionally, we're not really picking up on that right now, like thinking about that, but people are going to be emotionally challenged by all this, by the fear of death, by the intense societal changes, by the fact that society could break down and collapse. Extreme mood swings, especially around world events. Inner turmoil, drama, challenge to self-control. So avoid being vulnerable to scare tactics on this day. Determine to consciously respond to things rather than to react, and avoid being manipulated or manipulating other people during this time, because the mood is just going to be really, for everybody, it's going to be really extreme. Okay. So, and then after that, so 2:30, the moon's going to go across Jupiter, which is going to be similar themes. And then after that, it's going to go void, of course, so you can see. After that one, yep. Oh, after that one. Why don't I have that one? Moon squared Mercury? I totally missed that one. Well, moon square Mercury, that's like that's a really tough transit. It happens a lot, but it's just like, just like feeling challenged around your communications. We're wanting to be emotionally secure, but like the just the speaking, like especially around like these challenges around here, like with the restrictions and the death, and like just this expanding Jupiter expanding all this over here. We're gonna be really challenged emotionally with the kind of communications we want to have right now, especially because like you're gonna be challenged not to just blow up on people and just like take it way too far, especially with opposing Jupiter because yeah. So we're gonna have good intentions, but without much support. I have here. Yeah. Avoid falling into bad habits, addictions, and open up to others if you are generally a shy person. Um, but you could definitely get it like targeted for like someone's moral crusade here, or get targeted like for the scare tactics and manipulation. So just watch out for that. Don't let people do that because that's going to be definitely a risk for sure. Um, and there just could be a generally unsettling feeling in the air